Wood fire roasted coffee is all about the quality of the bean and the art of the roast. I, on the other hand, am all about waking up to great coffee every morning. My husband and I have been drinking wood fire roasted coffee at home for quite some time. We have our favorites, but we also enjoy the Coffee of the Month Club so that we get to experience coffee from all different origins. I always thought the coffee was excellent, but then I showed up to a coffee tasting one Saturday morning and I learned from Tim Curry, the owner of Wood Fire Roasted Coffee, that it could be even better if I could learn to brew it properly. I grabbed a group of college kids who not only love coffee, but also like to learn. And I headed over to Wood Fire Roasted Coffee Company to see what we could all learn and share with you. One of the things I learned from you was that the French press is the best way to make your coffee. So kind of just explain to us how much you put in the French press, how you do the water, all kind of the rules about what you think makes it really good.
Okay, I do agree. The French press is definitely one of the better ways to brew coffee. It's because the grounds are actually steeping in the water for the entire brew cycle. You have the most control over every aspect of the brewing process in your French press.
Okay.
The way I do a French press is I start with 54 grams. That's approximately 9 tablespoons of whole bean coffee. I grind it to a nice coarse grind and then put just off boiled water. So you heat water up to boiling. The boiling temperature here in Reno is about 204 degrees, and just let it come off that the boil until the water stills. Once the water is still, then you add half the water to your French press, about 2 cups, and let it set for about 30 seconds.
Okay.
At the end of that 30 seconds, once it's gone through the blooming process, then you finish and fill off your French press and let it steep for the remainder of a total 4 minutes.
Okay, so now I have to ask you a couple of questions. Why is it important to go from the water completely boiling and rolling to off boiling?
Well, the water, if it's too hot, will scorch the oils in the coffee, and that will cause flavor taints in your cup. And it will also affect the way the grounds interact with the water, causing the coffee not to properly extract. So you won't get all the full flavor out of your coffee grounds into your French press.
See, who would have thought, right? Now, why did you fill it up halfway and then wait 30 seconds before you finished filling it? At home, I use a French press, and it is my favorite way. I've never filled it halfway, and I didn't know I was supposed to do that.
Well, the reason for that is to allow the coffee to bloom. If you have fresh roasted coffee, it's going to bloom. There's going to be a carbon dioxide release out of those grounds that cause a nice foaming, frothy action in there, and that carbon dioxide will actually inhibit your extraction. So you want to give it an opportunity to get through that blooming process before you put all the water in there to give it its full brew potential.
Now, I noticed that you didn't put the lid on while you were waiting your 4 minutes, and I put my lid on at home, so obviously I'm doing more things wrong. Why'd you leave the lid off?
I leave the lid off because it tends to draw temperature out of the brewing process and can reduce the brewing temperature. It's perfectly fine to put the filter mechanism on if you preheat it up to the brewing temperature.
Okay.
But I don't do that. I just wait to the end and put it on and then press the coffee all at one time.
So now all the grounds are going to the bottom.
Right now, that's just what we're doing. We're
Coffee
separating your
top.
brewed coffee from the coffee grounds, and we just push that down in. And with the French press, you do want to give it a minute at this point and let it settle. You don't just grab that thing, pour it in your cup and go, because what you're going to get is a nice sediment at the bottom of the cup if you don't give it a second to settle.
That's why I'm getting the sediment. That's
Yes.
the third thing I'm doing wrong. I'm messing this all up. Okay, so now tell me about the coffee that we're all going to try for our first round.
The first tasting, this is a Burundi Kiramira Taba. This is my coffee of the month which is a subscription program that we do for the month of May. So this is actually the final sample batch, trying to dial it in, and you get an opportunity to taste it, be one of the first people to try it.
That's awesome. So let me tell all you guys, actually, since you're all college students and you're getting into this whole coffee tasting and becoming connoisseurs of this, Tim has what's called a coffee club. And that means that once a month you get a new flavor or a new, what do you call that?
It would be a new coffee of origin.
Okay.
Usually a micro lot coffee, very limited production, very special coffee that's hard to come by. That is what I feel best exemplifies the coffee of the region at the time.
So as you can see, this is a great way to try coffees from all over the world and find the ones that you really are going to enjoy the most and just have that experience. So are you guys ready to try it?
Yeah.
All right, I think we're ready to pour. The coffee was amazing as usual, and I was shocked by two things. One, how knowledgeable Tim Curry is about roasting and brewing coffee, and two, how bad I was at screwing it up at home. Oh, and by the way, Tim's Coffee of the Month Club is a lot of fun and it makes a really great gift. So here is to waking up to the perfect cup of coffee each and every morning.